right, welcome back to the car pod, everybody. It's gonna be a little rusty. It's been a couple weeks here of slacking off, so try to
That's
roll with
right.
us. Um, I don't know, dude. Do we want to go through like updates at all, like about our cars or just life events at all, or should we get straight into the meat of it?
I mean, yeah, fuck it. We'll give it a little update. I mean, we've pretty much just been grinding, doing fucking nothing but work.
Yeah,
Haven't even been barely posting anything on here.
dude, and I yeah, no, 100%. Like just trying to get shit up. We still got like 6 or 7 backlogged videos that I could be posting to. But yeah, we're just trying to keep in front of it. Hopefully that like this is what we enjoy doing. So the more we do this, the better for both of us. But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to go see the movie Doctor Strange, don't. Just don't fucking go see that. Um
Didn't even know that was
the
out.
oh bro,
Bad.
just I was getting mad. Like it was like Matrix level, like what is that Matrix Awakening where you're just watching and getting
Yeah.
mad? And I'm mad
Yeah.
because I can't just like reach over and switch it, because I'm not at my house. I'm in a theater and I'm just getting so mad. I'm like, why did I come to this, dude? So maybe I'm just getting old, but oh my, back to back. Like I think the last time I went to a movie theater was Matrix, and I'm like, maybe movie theaters aren't for me anymore, But
Yeah.
uh, the new Avatar trailer. I don't know if you saw that, but bro,
No.
goosebumps. I literally got goosebumps. I'm like this.
Oof.
This movie looks fucking sick. And then car shit, dude. I told you about it. I don't know if you told the podcast about it, but like totally had to yell at some guy and take my car back half unassembled and had to bring it to a different shop with all the parts and
Yeah.
got in a huge dispute about how much I owed him. And long story short, I didn't pay him at all. So that's how that went down. And I was fucking pissed, And when you get old, dude, you don't got much energy for that. So
Yeah. No
that
time.
was no time for that, dude. So and then today, I found out my grill's like broken, so I had to buy another grill. And I like was looking online, dude. Like even OEM was expensive. Like just this little bitch grill I could hold in my hands was like two
I'm
hundred
sure.
bucks.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
fuck. And there was like ones for like 800, 900. I'm like, dude, of course mine's broken. So that was a fun
Classic.
expense. And then my girlfriend had a video that would be good for Mac, dude. I forget what it's called. I don't want to yell in the mic though. Maybe if she comes by, I'll ask her. But all right.
All right. Fuck it.
Yeah, we can
Dude,
get to the
this whole
video now.
video is this is the we're watching the video, right?
No, we're going over no, we're going over cars we think we should
Oh, okay,
if
okay.
the market crashes, right? So I don't know. We don't know anything about financials, the market, anything that goes on in government, but
No.
some people think they do, and we're listening to those people, and it sounds like maybe the market's gonna crash, right? So we just want to give some bullshit insight for anyone who wants to listen to us, about maybe what cars to look at. So I don't know. I was just thinking about this like the other day. I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, because obviously all the cars are like hyper inflated to the point where like they aren't moving, like
Yeah.
from the dealer perspective, like people are even ordering over MSRP and they're waiting like 6 months, a year, depending on how specific it is. Like you had a M5 CS in your lot or two of them, right? And they were
Yeah.
100%
True.
markup, right? Almost, or one of them was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
I don't think anyone ended up paying that, but yeah, they had it over. They had $100,000 markup on it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But still, they sold one immediately for $50,000 over. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
and like the thing that sucks about that is like it's probably worth that. You know what I mean? Like and like as lame as that is for us to say, like it's not a bad buy for that at
Especially a
all.
car like that, where there's only I don't know how many, a couple hundred of them in the
Yeah,
world. So it's like it is gonna hold its value. At least a car
hundred
like that.
percent, 100%. And whatever the next M5 comes out, it's going to be hybrid, best case scenario, probably maybe even full EV. So, and it's just super exclusive. Like the CS, like you said, there's only a couple hundred or whatever it is, but it's a badass car. But my point is,
It is.
the market, can't be like this forever. from people that know better than both of us. So, you know, we know cars, so here we're going to fucking talk about it. So I made a little list. All right. So it kind of goes cheaper the more expensive, right? So this is the SS1LE Camaro, okay?
Wow.
Right. So right now, if I had to guess, you could probably get away with one in the 50s, right? I would not be surprised if the market crashes, you find these in like the 30s, dude. And like
Dude.
for the money, hell of a car. You know, not the prettiest fucking car. I know a lot of people are like were pissed
Especially
post
this
19.
year.
Yeah, like they revised it a little bit from what I understand. I don't really follow, you know, this level car, not to sound like, oh, okay, get the fucking whatever, but like I don't remember exactly. I know the 19 came out, everyone was pissed, and like fuck that car. And then I think they revised it 2020, and then I think this is the revision. I could be wrong because I almost want to say that the bow
Still
tie.
looks fucking great. Honestly, I'd fucking drive that.
Yeah, like
Especially for 30K, I'd be buying one of these.
right, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to keep out for it because this is the 6.2 LT1, 460 horsepower, I want to say. One Elite suspension, bigger brakes, better aero. Interior's like just the same as mine. It's a fucking fantastic car if you can even get in the low 40s, you know? Yeah, I think this is a good car people should look out for. You know, if you're looking for like, you know, quote unquote cheap thrills. Badass car. You know, I don't love how it looks, but it's not a bad looking car. I was gonna say like I think people have a problem with like the emblem being like embroidered in or whatever you want to call it. Like you can't do anything with it, and like I don't know, it's not that big of a fucking deal. It looks fine to me.
It's different. I mean, it looks good. Yeah, I don't fucking care. You know, it looks good enough to drive. I'm sure it drives fucking amazing too.
Yeah, and like I'm sure the Mach 1 I still think will probably be a good 10K over this, you know, and like I would be absolutely shocked if the lap times or whatever, like 0 to 60s, all that shit is very similar. You know what I mean? I'm not saying the Mach 1's not a better looking car, but if we're dividing it by $10,000, like obviously this is a far better buy. And then the next one I had, so this one I think is definitely going to be a steal. So this is the first year A90 Supra, right? Before they did the head design, a redesign, and the different compression ratio, where it went up to like 380 horse or whatever the fuck it was. The first year ones that everyone was like pissed about, like because they gained like 40 horsepower the next year. These cars were already sinking. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was like I want to say like very low 40s, and that was only a year after it came out, before like the COVID thing fucking hit, you know. But
Yeah.
like, dude, like when the market crashes, like these are going to be the least desirable A90 Supras, but who gives a flying fuck if you can get one of these for like 30s, 40, low 40. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a steal, in my opinion.
Dude, they drive so good too.
I have no experience, but like I have very
dude.
little with the B58, and I'm like, dude, I love this motor, even if it has 40 less horsepower. And people seem to forget too, like when they did the dyno numbers on this thing, it was way over what they were advertising. And also the torque number is, I think, exactly the same as the new one. So like,
dude, it's plenty fast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
feeling the B58 in a two-door is fucking nuts, dude. Like, I mean, you go in an X5 and you step on it, you're like, oh wow, this feels good. But then you get in the fucking M240 or you get in this thing, and it's like, what the fuck am I driving? You know,
Yeah.
that's a sweet car.
Okay. And so there's not much to say about this. Like, I just think, like, obviously what you're saying, it's a good fucking car, right? But not everyone is like,
no, who wants a two-door only car? You know, it
yeah.
literally only seats two people. It's small as fuck. You know, if you drive with the windows down, it sounds like a helicopter. I think that it must have a small trunk. Trunk.
Yeah.
It must have a small trunk. You know,
Yeah.
look
No,
at how I haven't opened the trunk yet.
and
But you
like,
know,
I think a lot of people are pissed about like all the fake vents and shit, and not everyone's down for the styling.
especially if they make a manual version, everyone who has one of these is gonna be fucking giving this shit up. You know, or maybe not everyone, but
But
so
you know,
many people.
that's what I'm
know?
saying. Like, if you don't give a fuck about, like, none of these options, by the way, I'm talking about, besides maybe the last two, and they're not like cheap options, they're just options that get in the door to have a car that might be worth something someday. on my list. I have 5 cars. These first 3 are just cars that, like, if you don't give a fuck about anything besides a screaming deal, this is a hell of a car. But like, I'm with you, dude. If I bought this thing, I would be like, I want the manual. Like, I can't not
Yeah,
have that. When you have a car this small, this is the
for sure.
Z4 platform, right? It's like the same fucking size as that, which is like the smallest car BMW makes. So I don't have any experience in this thing, but it's fucking it seems sick,
Yeah, we got to drive one.
No, absolutely. I was gonna tell you, I think I'm going to the car show this week that's in Minneapolis. Then I'm going to Wisconsin this weekend for the huge car show. It's like thousands of cars.
Fuck.
And then hopefully by the end of next month, the end of June, I think I'm gonna go to Florida and try to fucking do some car shows down there too. So hopefully there'll be some content for everybody here. But yeah, bucket list. I need to get a ride in a Supra for sure, and keep an eye out for that. All right, so this one, more than I knew about this shit. But the first gen M2, the pre, now I'm gonna gap on the
you
fucking.
think this one's gonna go down?
No, listen to me on this one. The original, dude, listen to me on this one. The original M2 N54 engine, right? Or N55 engine.
N55.
Yes. I'm not saying it's going to be cheaper than MSRP. I just don't think they're going to be, like, out of the 3 tiers of M2. Sure. This one will be the cheapest and still a hell of a car.
Dude, it's a badass car. The M55 is a tough motor too.
Yeah, like I know it's not the B58. I know it's, even the N54 gets a lot of praise because of the lack of water jackets or whatever. It holds more boost or some shit. I don't know from personal experience.
I found this out too. I think you asked me this. We probably went over on the podcast, but so N54 was twin turbo, then N55 was twin scroll turbo.
Okay.
Single turbo. That's when I knew N54 was twin turbo, but I didn't fucking care to find out if fucking N55 was twin turbo or not. But that makes sense. Now they're moved on to twin scroll with everything.
So this is the first VGT or turbo, right?
What the fuck?
Variable geometry turbo.
Yeah, that's what twin scroll means, right?
Yeah,
I really, when we went over variable geometry, I didn't know what the fuck it meant, and then I saw a video of pretty much what it looked like variable valve time, but with the turbo, so it just fucking varies the speed of what fucking how fast the turbo can spool or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like Koenigsegg, actually, not that it's the fucking same fucking thing, but Koenigsegg has a good visual of it. I don't know what the video is called. I'm sure people can find it. I think it was the 1-to-1. I don't know. It's been years since I watched it. Yeah. But they show how with the pressure increases, the vane will move and it gives it more of a cabin or more of a chamber to make more boost. You know what I'm saying? So It starts small to spool quick, and then there's a bigger cavity or chamber for the more boost pressure or whatever.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. Like you're saying, I love having this these conversations with you because we can disagree on something like this. I could be, like I said, I don't fucking know, but dude, same concept.
For my brain is so messed up because of the market, especially these M cars. It's hard for me to see them going back down because I feel I don't know. I just feel like everybody figured it out, and now everyone's like, oh, everyone who owns one of these is like, oh no, it's worth $50,000. No, fine. Go. I know what I have. Go buy another one. It's fucking weird. It doesn't make any sense. Everyone who owns one of these wants fucking $45,000 for it.
Right, and maybe, but here, this is what I'm saying. So when I was at Porsche, this was pre-COVID or before COVID started fucking things up. You know what I mean? Right when it started, right? So things were still moving. Maybe people weren't driving. But we had a 1 Series M. That's the N54, right? Or it's revised, but I think it's the N54. We were selling that for 45. And I'm sorry, anyone who's a BMW guy, you're buying a 1 Series M, hopefully over a standard M2. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's a good metric to go by, but even if you could get into one of these for low 40s, high 30s, Not saying that's ever gonna happen, but like, dude, like, come the fuck on. Like,
Dude,
that'd be
it's such a
such a
fun
steal.
car.
I
For
like,
30 to 40, like you're fucking stoked on a car like that.
yeah, dude, like, I don't know how this thing drives. I've never driven one, but it just makes me think of like the E. Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of like the E46, like
Yes.
E36 type of style,
Yes.
body.
Yeah, you get that. I mean, even like it reminds me of my it's like reminds me of like a new version of my E30, you know? So it has a really cool feeling being in a two-door fucking car like that. And then especially a car like, or especially a motor like the N54 or even, B58, S55, fucking it sounds good, dude. And it's aggressive as shit. You step on the gas and it's fun, you're like,
Yeah.
ooh, what a fucking race car.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna ask you, so I know very little about this. Like, I remember, I think I was thinking about, because I've had so many issues with wrapping my car. I think this is how I came up with the idea. Remember when we were wrapping your E30
Hmm.
with in the orange shit?
Yeah.
That's right when I think the comp came out of this, and that's when
Okay.
it went over to sorry,
The
what's in
S55.
is S55?
S55. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
in the
that's the
M. That's
F80
in the.
motor.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so they dropped. Is that the same thing where they dropped this model then, and then there was only a comp at the time?
What do you mean? Oh, what do you mean they dropped the new M2?
Sorry, yeah, like I know for a fact you can't buy this now new, right?
No, you can't buy this new anymore. Now, yeah, pretty much now it's only comps. It's pretty much only competitions because I don't think they don't have another version of maybe they do have a non-competition, but I'm pretty
Is it
sure you can.
B58 then?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they're both S55s, but maybe that's you can only get a comp now because they're definitely not selling N55s new.
That's what I thought. I think I don't know. I was gonna ask you, but I'm pretty sure when they dropped this, the comp came out, which is the S55, right? And then
Yeah.
they came out the CS, which is just like I think it has a slightly more horsepower, but like no one can
Hmm.
afford that fucking thing.
Yeah.
But my point is, if we're talking value, this is, I would keep an eye out because like out of all M cars, they're gonna be desirable. It's a good
For
fucking car.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, and this is me. This is where you're gonna be like, "Fuck you," because none of these are even in any of our values. Like these cars will
Hmm.
always be worth something. But with gas guzzler tax,
Dude,
with
I was gonna say because I was not prepared for this video and I was
yeah,
thinking of cars because I didn't know if you're gonna ask me. But this is a good. I think this is a good call, honestly. A truck like this, I was gonna say, like the SRT models. Like maybe I'm hoping I want a fucking Hellcat still. I don't think
yeah,
that the Hellcats will go down, but maybe some of like the SRT models, or some of these trucks with the big V8s because fucking gas is ridiculous. It's literally. I mean, I don't know what it is where you're at. It's six fucking a gallon over here. At
yeah.
least, like oh shit. Oh shit.
Let's go, dude. You got super into that,
Dude,
bro.
it's fucking $6 a gallon.
Oh, sheesh, dude. Are
I
you
just
mad
fucking
about it?
knocked the. I'm pissed. You see that shit? I knocked the mic off.
Could you be mad about it, dude? Because you seem kind of pissed, bro.
This is my budget fucking mic stand, and it's not even strapped in, dude. It's
Fuck
just
it,
fucking
dude.
dangling right there. That's
Yeah, we have.
fucking sick. Well, that's how I feel about the fucking gas prices, dude. I'll fuck up my
Yes.
own shit about it, dude. I'm pissed.
Right, dude. But yeah, I was gonna say that, which I don't fucking know, dude. But I could see it definitely going to $10 in California at least in the next couple of years. And then
Fuck you,
people,
dude.
no, I'm just being honest, dude. I'm
I
not
know.
trying
I'm
to be
just
a
kidding.
dick.
No, I believe it. No, because I can see it too. But I don't put that evil on me.
I wouldn't. It's just like
I'm just kidding.
you got to think about the grid too. California's got the most sophisticated grid for electric cars out of any state. I mean, whatever happens there is what's going
Dude,
to happen everywhere else.
they said some mumbo jumbo bullshit how they want to have like it's like I don't know 2026 or 2030 all like I don't fucking know. They go, oh, Newsom fucking signed the order. I don't know who the fuck the guy is, what he's fucking signing, but apparently we have to be a fully electric by some fucking year, that sounds like what do they say? Every new car that's going to be sold in this state will be electric. Not like you can't have your gas car, but that's pretty crazy how they're only going to be selling brand new cars that are fully electric by a
And I was
certain
gonna
year.
I was gonna say 2025 for at least GM, Jag, when we end up talking about Range Rover, because I'm really confused about that. When we get into a video about that, I want to talk about that too. But like in 2025, I know there's going to be increased restrictions or mandate on fuel economy for sure, emissions again, which fucks up all this. You know, it fucks up gas guzzler tax even more, makes it more expensive to own cars like this, gas prices itself. But just kind of goes back to the thing of like people are going to offload these cars because like, and I'm not saying us broke asses should pick them up. I'm just saying for like
Yeah.
anyone who enjoys cars, it's going to take more than $10 a gallon for us to give up on gas cars, you know?
Yeah. Dude, it's just so much. And I mean, like, if you think about it, like, especially the people who bought this new, you know, you're spending fucking whatever, $700 minimum, $1,000 on your payment. You got to pay insurance. Then you're spending fucking $100 a week on gas, at least.
At
You know,
least.
maybe even more, depending on how far you're driving. So it it isn't worth it to be spending $1,500 a month. But if you can get one for cheap, you know, if you got the cash, pay 30K, and then you got a fucking truck you can drive for $400 a month in gas, and then whatever, $150 to insure, like 550 for one of these a month. Be pretty sweet for someone who can
Yeah.
afford it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like this is the top daddy TRX, and then there's the Durango. So like the ones that are more limited model, like the more recent ones, I think will I could be wrong, just like based on volume, I think those would be something that's worth something, but they're very exclusive, weird trucks. Like back in the day, they had an SRT 10, so like the Viper motor in one of
Yeah,
these trucks. Those things still, like, I know
they're
it's a
so
very
sick.
specific person to buy a car like that or truck like that, but those cars never like really fucking lose value. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And those things
I,
are pieces of shit to deal with,
yeah,
literally.
I wanted one so many times. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a fucking Viper truck, and
Yeah.
there's so much money, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna get a Viper truck.
And it's a Mopar. Like we all heard about that through school. Like everything that's Mopar is like twice the anything else in American. You know what I mean? So I think they're sweet. I think they're gonna come down because they're just, especially like a standard Hellcat, like not a Demon or a Red Eye or any of that shit, but like
Yeah,
just a standard
they
Hellcat is
gotta
gonna.
come down. I will buy a Hellcat for cheap. Like if someone, you know, just needs some suspension work or some shit, it's like all clapped a little bit, but you still got a good motor and trans. I'd buy one.
Hell yeah,
Fuck it,
dude. And
dude.
and people like, I'm not an expert on this either, but like, um, a lot of these have to go to like a 7-liter stroker kit to get much out of these things, and then the trans kind of blows up. So a lot of like, I know a Hellcat's kind of like 10 tenths already, and it's like, how reliable can they be? But like, I think there's some kind of like confidence in the fact that most Hellcats haven't been fucked with. You know what I mean? Like they haven't
Yeah.
been pushed because they can't really get pushed much. You know, like anyone who ever has like a 7-liter stroker, fucking Trackhawk or some shit, I mean, they're always broken. They're fucking cool as snot, but
Yeah.
they're always broken. So
Dude, they're breaking something every time they take the thing out. They're
yeah.
breaking a drive shaft, they're breaking axles, they're going through diffs, you know.
Yeah, and people forget like the Challenger Charger platform. I know there's been revisions, but that platform's been around since 2006. Like that's some like fucking forerunner shit. You know what I mean? Like that.
Dude, have you
It's not a
driven them? Did you drive my car or no? The Challenger?
no. You're the one your mom's has. No, dude,
Yeah.
she's
Dude,
balling in that.
I mean, okay, it's not because I haven't, I've driven a 5.0, I've driven a fucking SS, and I've driven the Challenger, obviously.
Mm.
Challenger is sick. It's the biggest out of all three. It feels like a fucking boat, just like the fucking stereotypes. Camaro's a fucking beast, super nimble. The 5.0 is nice. I mean, like, I don't know what the difference between the 5.0 and the Camaro are. I feel like the Camaro would handle better. The 5.0's fucking motor is sick,
Yeah,
but dude,
that's
I don't
I
know.
feel.
I love a big body car like that. So just being in the Challenger or the fucking Charger, I just drove a Charger for the first time not too long ago, and I don't know, it felt just like my Challenger, the front seats, but having those fucking back seats, dude, it's a nice fucking, it's a sweet
Dude,
ride. But
I
you're
would kill. I would kill
guzzling.
for
Yeah.
gas, dude. Yeah, dude, for sure. But I would kill for a Charger. I think those are the cool ones, in my opinion. Out of all of them, I just wish they would have made like a 300, like that, even that big. Like go full boat status, and give me
Yeah.
all-wheel drive. That'd be
Yeah.
fucking.
I've seen people do the manual swaps on the Chargers too, and that's such a sick look. I mean, that's perfect, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, or if they had the C300 manual, you know, that'd be a sweet ride too.
absolutely. But like, we're getting a little off topic, but like at the end of the day, like my point is like, I think these will be worth something someday, but there'll be a huge dip when everyone's like, fuck, dude, $10 a gallon gas.
Yeah,
You
fuck
know,
this truck.
you're right. It's already happened. Like from what I understand, the people that are owning this thing, that were like, oh, I'm gonna have a fun 6 months and then I'm gonna sell it back and even maybe make some, maybe break even. People are
Hmm.
having a hard time breaking even on these things now. You know what I mean? Just because
Fuck.
people aren't looking for them right now because the gas is
Yeah,
so expensive. I still think they're fucking sweet though. You know what I mean? They're absolute sweet cars. Um, Bold prediction, but I would not be surprised if a Challenger Hellcat goes back into the 40s because that's where it was. Believe it or not, they were in the 40s before COVID hit, dude. So um, I could see it happening again. And like, I'm sorry, if you're gonna have a SS 1LE or a fucking Hellcat, you're buying a Hellcat. You know what I mean? So
I think that's safe to say, dude. And I mean, even though you're not going to use it, just having a car that can do that, who the fuck wouldn't want that, you know? Fuck it. It
abs-
sounds. I think I think it just sounds better, you know. Just listen to the startup alone. If you looked at a fucking SS 1LE and the Challenger Hellcat right next to each other, you asked to start them both up, you're gonna go, I think I'm gonna go with the Hellcat
yeah,
for
dude.
sure.
Because you're not a race car driver for one, and
No,
two, you just want a like luxury boat, big
yeah,
cruiser, dude. Like rips ass through the fucking highway, dude. Like change any lane at any time because you have the power, dude.
you're just the
So
big G on the road, dude. Just like, hey,
right.
fucking your dick's dragging along the road when you're fucking driving your fucking car, you know. That's how big your shit is.
Dude, and you were saying that uses a ZF gearbox, right? In the newer ones?
Yes, dude.
Yeah. So it's like,
That's crazy. I
and
didn't
I've heard
realize
good
that.
and I've heard good things about their tuning too. Like you drove it experience and it was pretty quick, right?
I just drove the SRT too. I didn't even
Yeah.
drive a Hellcat. So, and the SRT drove good, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't do any of the I did some manual shifting, but I just
Yeah.
let it do its
Do a thing.
thing, and it shifted nice. And then I was underneath doing the inspection. I go, what the fuck? Looked like the same, had the
Yeah.
same plastic black oil or trans pan. And I see it on ZF. I'm like, oh shit, this is ZF.
Yeah, that's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
and
sweet.
from what I've heard and what I've driven, at least of the ZFs or ZFs, is the only one that fucking botches it is Range Rover, dude. They're the only ones that fuck it up. Every other car is like, we got to figure it out. And even from what I understand, Jag's got to figure it out. So how, under the same umbrella company, do you have a tuning where it's fucking, tits, and then you have a Range Rover that's horseshit, where you're waiting
Yeah.
3 seconds for it to downshift 3 gears? It's just
That
nuts.
must be model to model too, because like my dad's Rover, he had the Range Rover Sport, and that thing drove great. I'm sure that has a ZF too. But yeah, like
Yeah.
you were talking about the Velar, right?
Yeah. Cause like my mom has the first year of when I think the company's called Tata. I forget the Indian company that bought out Land Rover and Jag.
Hmm.
The first car they did was like the aluminum body Sport, and I think that came out in, if I had to guess, like 14 maybe. No, 15 probably. So the first year that came out, my grandma got it, and then now my mom has that car. Better shifting on that. I'm almost positive it's the ZF. It's got the same fucking stock as like the BMWs, like where you push it and it retracts back to center.
Yeah.
It almost looks identical. But that thing is better, but you're still fucking waiting. Like you wait the same amount of time, but you're only going down a gear. The Velar, like it just overcompensates like crazy. Like you wait 3 seconds and then you go back 3 fucking gears. Like you go from like 8 to fucking 4. And you're like,
Yeah.
why? And you're just whining just to slow back down. You know what I mean? It's just fucking, and then it hangs. It literally hangs there for a little bit too, which is just insane to me. Um. Anyway, we're off topic. Anything else you got to fucking add to this shit?
No, dude. I
No.
want a fucking Hellcat.
Yeah, dude. Hey, dude, look out for one. Like everyone who's interested, I had a couple buddies like, hey, I'm gonna buy a Hellcat. Fuck it. And I'm like, bro, just wait, just wait.
Yeah.
Like
That's
buying
what
anything used right now is nuts.
for sure. I remember reading an article when for Hellcats first came out, and it's like how to buy a Hellcat. It's like the biggest key or whatever. It's like best thing to do is to wait. It's like just fucking wait till they fucking drop in value, dude.
Right, dude. Absolutely. And I think they are. So the next one is literally me praying and hoping that it gets back to where it was, which was in the 60s. I don't see it now because it's at 125, but I don't think it's a bad buy at 80, right? So this is my next pick. Fucking Viper, dude.
Dude, I had a feeling you're gonna say it.
Yeah, because Gen 5 Vipers, I am the most biased motherfucker ever. I think they're the sickest cars ever, and they are worth all of 125. But if I'm being realistic about this whole thing, there's no fucking way
No,
with an
not up.
8.4 liter V10 that anyone's spending 125, unless you're sitting on it, right? I could see these things dipping back into the 80s, like just a standard one. The ACRs are always going to be in the $250,000, I think. What were you saying though?
I could see 80. I was gonna say I don't think so, dude. I don't see this going down, but I could see in the 80s,
Yeah,
you
I just
know.
don't think the 60 days are gone, I think, unfortunately. I fucking missed it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I didn't buy one of these because I'd be in a headache of all headaches trying to own something like this. But
But man, it'd be cool.
dude, like, if someone's like, hey, dude, have an SRT 10 fucking Viper for 60K, what are you going to say? No? Like, everyone on here can call me a fucking asshole and fuck you, dude. Who do you think you are? But at the end of the day, like, if you didn't say yes to that, like, you have a serious fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd be
Because
pretty
this,
dumb.
that's like, you have probably the same passion I do where you're like eyeballing shit. Like, you know, I'm not really in the market, but like, that's a good fucking deal. You probably do that shit all day long, like I do. And the
I had to stop, but I used to always do this, dude.
yeah,
Looking up Vipers, looking up Hellcats, looking up
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And I was seeing this Viper. I'm like, this fucking thing is dipping, dude. Like, I saw one legit for 67,000 when I bought my Camaro, right? So that was 7 grand more than when I ended up buying my Camaro for, dude. Like, that is in hindsight, I'm a fucking idiot, but at the same time, people don't understand. Like, oh, it's American. No, dude, it's like pretty much owning like a fucking Ferrari or some other shit. Like, the Mopar parts, the maintenance, the bullshit you got to deal with these things. Like, these aren't. It's not the same thing. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
And you gotta fucking do a twin turbo and a fucking sequential shifter on it, so
Yeah,
it's never
cowbell
gonna be
kit.
running. Yeah,
Yeah,
you you gotta throw the Texas special on this shit,
big stroke at the 9 liters for sure, dude.
100%. Go like this. This is how all those videos sound too. 210 miles an hour. It's like, what the fuck is this guy driving?
That's what I'm saying. Like, as much as I love Vipers, fuck, they sound like shit, dude. Like, they're like,
Dude.
you can tell they're going fast because they're fucking launching all over the car, but they're
Yeah.
like, because it only goes up to like 6,000 RPMs or some shit. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like a truck, but then
It's so
you're going
low.
so fast, dude.
Yeah.
So fast.
300 miles an hour. It's like, what the fuck?
Fuck it,
Doesn't
dude.
make any sense, dude.
There's a guy, I think his name's like Sneaky Snake or some bullshit, but he's got this some bullshit, I don't know. Some like Viper reference. He thought it was like cute, but like it's kind of lame as fuck. But he has a blue one and it's just a 9 liter, but it's NA making 800 horsepower. That's the spec,
fuck.
dude. If I had a Viper, that is exactly what I would do. It actually sounds pretty fucking good. Sounds like a chopper at like idle, and then it kind of screams up top. And he has it revving higher too. I think it reaches like 7 instead of 6. So you have a little bit more noise there. But
9 liters,
dude, can you imagine his gas bill per week?
Dude,
he probably
he's
drives
probably
like
spending 200 at least a week if he drives a day regularly.
yeah, but like,
maybe more.
Dude, if you had this, especially in a 9 liter, right? What are you gonna tell me? Hey, dude, gas is $6 a gallon. Well, I'm taking her out. You know what I mean? I'm taking her out.
I would be driving this thing to Minnesota. I would be spending $3,000 on gas just to come show you my Viper.
To show off, dude.
One
you better
way,
be showing off.
one way. $3,000. You can spend $3,000 on the way back. So they're
Big baller
probably
shit.
so poor I gotta sell it, but when I'm back, but still, at least I get to show you, you know.
Hey, dude, that sounds worth it to me, dude. Fuck it.
Dude,
Uh, what
fuck.
was I gonna fucking say, dude? Yeah, so that's my list. You got any like honorable mentions or anything that you kind of thought of through the video?
No, because as fucking much as I want all these cars to drop, I was thinking, I'm like, dude, I literally, it's so hard for me to think about it, you know? It's like, what's gonna drop, you know? Like, I hope everything drops, you know? Like, fucking, I want to fucking buy an old M5, you know? But I don't know, especially some of these nicer trims, you know? I don't see people being like, oh yeah, I guess I'll just, you know, oh, you know, it's value dropped. There's fucking gas cars, so there's electric cars out. I better sell it for a decent price. I don't see that happening. It's like
Yeah,
everyone's got this "fuck you, I know what I got" attitude, and you know, all power to it because you know it's helping us with our cars. But
yeah.
still, it's like it's hard to
It,
see.
if I was gonna take a bold prediction on like M cars, if I wasn't gonna pick the M2 because I think that will be the one that will be the most
Yeah,
obtainable.
yeah,
I really do think F80s are so underappreciated in the M community. Like a
yeah,
lot of people are like they're not M cars because like the torque curve and shit. But like the same thing happened to the E90. People want to forget about that because that came out right after E46, nimble, high revving, beautiful,
yeah.
perfect size, probably the best M car of all time, M3,
Hmm.
into a kind of a heavier E90, right? Everyone's like, fuck that car. Look at
Yeah,
the prices now, motherfuckers.
dude.
Look at the prices now,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see it happen because they used to talk so much shit on the E90s
dude.
when people who knew that it was they were fucking retarded. Like that was such a sick car. Sorry for saying the R word, you know, but
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. A high
in a good
revving
way.
V8, a high revving naturally aspirated V8. You know what I mean? Like anybody who got in that car knew this. Oh, this is a sick fucking car. And now they're saying that's the last real M fucking three because it had fucking it had real power steering and it's like. Who the fuck cares, dude? The F80
Yeah,
drives so good too. It's such a
yeah.
nice car and it's fucking aggressive as shit. They had to like tone it down for the because that's is it dual clutch? I think it is dual clutch. I'm
It
fucking
is dual clutch. Yep, it's dual
yeah,
clutch.
it's dual clutch. So it's so much more aggressive than the G80. The G80 is so smooth, but it's so much easier to go faster in the G80. But the F80 is like just that's a fuck you car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like that's a
Yes.
car where someone cuts you off, you slam on the gas and you fucking drift around them and you fucking have an AK-47 in your exhaust and you fucking shoot it at them. It goes wah, bah, 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 bah. You know, that's what it sounds like. That's the kind of car it is.
And minus maybe now I'm gonna kind of fucking stretch it. Okay, E30 and E46 are off the fucking table, right?
Yeah,
But are we gonna pretend like the F80 is not the best looking modern day M
dude,
car? Like
it's the
fuck
best
you.
looking car.
It's so good looking, dude.
It's so good. The M2 is good too. I know, and I know people have like it's like an ongoing battle between what's better, the M2 or the M3. But I'm like I'm on the M3 side, dude. It looks so fucking good. And you got four doors, like having those
Yeah,
wide ass tires and fucking hips in the back. Like, you know, it's fucking perfect. It's a fucking perfect car.
yeah, no, for sure. And our broke asses, my dumbass keeps having this software, so we're less than a minute. So unfortunately, we got to tune out. But I
Fuck it,
appreciate
dude.
everybody tuning in. Yeah, fuck it, dude. But CarPod Nation, look out for more episodes. We got the Range Rover episode coming out next. Thanks for tuning in and sub up puppets.
Sheesh.